Nisi-ko-san Melanie Midgley, Apitogo-san. My name is Melanie Midgley, and I'm a proud member of the Métis Nation. I am here with you today from the unceded traditional territory of the Snuneymuxw First Nation, where I am grateful to live and learn. As our TELP program comes to a close, so too does my time with Gold River School District, where I have had an extraordinary 7 years at a little annex school in Nanaimo called Nisikakamtuks. I open my presentation today with the Nuu-chah-nulth phrase "Dequasin," which means to sit together, in order to recognize the Gold River community who have supported our school over the years, as well as a nod to the themes of collaboration and contribution which have been interwoven throughout this TELP program. Using frameworks as a tool to build capacity for decision-making and action motivates me to continue to focus on a shift from ego to eco and serves to remind us all that new knowledge is a function of the relationships we nurture. As I transition into School District 68, I am committed to weave the spirals of inquiry into my practice as a means to foster reciprocity and the co-creation of ideas among new colleagues. Recently, Nanaimo Ladysmith Public School District has put into place the Sayetsas Reconciliation Policy and Framework in order to move reconciliation forward by naming mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual as 4 elements that contribute to restorative learning. I am motivated to explore how these elements can be embedded into classroom, school, and district inquiry spirals in order to transform systems and grow equity in small but accountable ways. Over the course of this year, and with thanks to the resources and conversations from TELP, my learning around networks has had a profound impact on my thinking about how to affect change within systems and aligns with my values and beliefs about the acquisition and ownership of knowledge. In his book, Research's Ceremony, Opaskwayak Cree researcher Sean Wilson describes the Western or dominant view of knowledge as something that is gained or owned by an individual, as opposed to an indigenous way of thinking, which recognizes that knowledge is relational and owned not by one, but shared with all of creation. With this in mind, I see network learning as a fundamental component for new ideas to emerge, gain traction, and be celebrated collectively in a way that honors Indigenous knowledge. I am motivated by those around me who are modeling network learning, like Claire Doust and Brooke Moore, who have, among other things, started the Ed Leaders Book Club this year as a safe and collaborative place to share insights, connections, and wonderings. As I prepare for this presentation, I found myself reflecting on my time at Nisikakamtuks, where our team, always in collaboration, were able to, as Alan Daly said, let go of institutional and colonized practices in order to let come new ways of learning with each other, our students, and their families. Over the years at Nisikakamtuks, we have leaned into new inquiries as a means to address collective challenges, and we have been able to create a space that integrates elements of what the OECD describes as embodied learning. Some examples of embodied learning that we have put into practice at NK include the ongoing and fulsome integration of competency-based learning as fundamental for well-being, inclusion, and learner identity. The incorporation of class competency profiles that focus on the strengths and stretches of a cohort of learners, enabling teachers to identify and access self-regulation, social-emotional learning, and physical literacy strategies to support students on a regular and evolving basis. A commitment to play-based, emergent, and personalized learning that is documented and communicated with families through holistic assessment practices that align with Indigenous ways of knowing, such as a narrative assessment. As I move into my next role with School District 68, I'm eager to collaborate with a new network of educators to ask questions, share ideas, and build capacity for embodied and other learning practices that promote inclusion and equity for all. Alex Chevron Vennett's book, Equity-Centered Trauma-Informed Education, offers actions that we can all take to develop ourselves, our classrooms, and our systems through an equity lens that has prompted me to think about the interconnected nature of these 3 areas. As such, I have created 3 interrelated circles with myself in the center as a model that begins with a personal commitment to acknowledge privilege, challenge assumptions, and reflect how the decisions and actions I take impact my students and the systems we collectively inhabit. For now, I'm curious about how I might embody the SAYETSAS framework next year, and how it can be integrated into daily teaching and learning as a means to grow equity and inclusion in my new class, in my new school, and in my new district. Heitzapka for sitting together with me today and during our TELP sessions. It has been a pleasure to listen and learn alongside all of you.